The most famous protocol droid has arrived to me all the way from Japan. Let's check it out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna take a look at the S.H.Figuarts C-3PO from A New Hope. This is the re-released version from 2024. Original release was back in 2017. I skipped that release and up until this point I had only one 6-inch 3PO figure in my collection, and it was this one. This is Bandai model kit that to me looks much better than any Hasbro version of this same character. It's nice and reflective, and even though it is fragile, I only need him to stand in a simple pose like this on my shelf. I don't really need a crazy articulated 3PO. But because in the last couple of years I started getting every SHF Star Wars release, I've decided to add this guy to my collection. I did get R2 as well, and he will have his separate review. So stay tuned for that one. I got both of them on AmiAmi because these re-releases were around $40 each, and that's a good price for an SHF figure. I will compare these two figures in this video, but I don't have any of the Black Series releases to add to this comparison, so sorry about that. Okay, first a quick look at the box. This is a standard SHF packaging, a smaller practical box that doesn't take too much space, and I love that. There is a big window on the front showing the figure with the accessories, golden Star Wars logo. Down here it says C-3PO classic version from Star Wars A New Hope. We have Tamashii Nations and Bandai logos. On the side we have a close-up promo shot of the figure, more promo shots on the back, together with some information that I can't read. Star Wars logo is on the other side and on the top. On the bottom we have more information about the brand, so now let's open it up and let's take a look at the figure. Here is Figuarts 3PO out of the box, and I have to say, my first impressions, I'm impressed by this figure. The camera doesn't do it justice. Because of the reflective surface, it's really hard to record this figure. I would say, looking at the monitor right now, that the figure looks much better in person than it does on the video. So you'll have to trust me on that one. The proportions look great. As I said, the surface is shiny and reflective, all the details are nice and sharp, and the figure feels sturdy. We will get to the articulation in a bit, but you can mess around with this figure because it does have some nice movement, especially for a character that has limited movement in the movie. Taking a closer look at the details, we're gonna start with the head. The sculpt is really nice. All the details have sharply defined edges so that you can appreciate all the beautiful work that they've done on this figure. And you can see that they did a great job all around on this head, and you can even see me in the reflection. That's how shiny this figure is. The only downside of this guy is that the eyes do not light up. So this 3PO will always look like he is powered down. I know that that's too much to ask, but just imagine how good would it look if this figure actually had a light up feature for the eyes. But even without that feature, the head still looks good, and even though it's darker on camera, you can still see the dots of the eyes. Torso also looks fantastic, arms as well. Then we have these wires that are in different colors but are not sculpted separately. 3PO's diaper looks good, and so do the legs. His lower right leg is painted silver, which is accurate to A New Hope, and it's still reflective. And then here is a look at the back of the figure. Even more wires here in all kinds of different colors, 3PO's butt and the back of the legs. Let's now take a look at his accessories. He comes with an alternate faceplate that is practically the same faceplate that comes on the figure, but the only difference is this damage, this indentation on the top of the head. And to switch faceplates, all you need to do is simply remove this one like this, and now you can see the inner workings of the head, and you can see the eyes, and you simply align the other faceplate and peg it in. And now you have 3PO with that indentation. 3PO comes with 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. First pair, the relaxed hands, are already on the figure. Then he comes with these gripping hands. That is a position of hands that we usually see in the Black Series line. Practically all of their figures come with these types of hands. And then the third pair are hands that are meant to be used for holding something, and what they are holding is this small piece of plastic that should be a communicator that 3PO uses in A New Hope. So that goes into these hands like this. And this is a dangerous thing to have because you can easily lose it if it falls to the floor. Here is how his wrist peg looks when you are switching out the hands. So here he is with that communicator communicator holding hands. Now mind you, all of these hands practically look the same. You won't notice the difference when you see this figure on the shelf. Let's now take a look at his articulation. The head movement is good, but the neck is fixed, so you won't get any movement there. You get a little bit of side to side tilt. He can look down just slightly. Up is a bit better. He has no butterfly joint, but the arms rotate 360. They go out this much. Then there is a bicep swivel. Then for the elbow we have this piston here, or however you call that. As you can see, that is pegged here in the biceps, and then there is the indentation on the lower arm where it connects. So when articulating the elbow, you have to be careful not to break this. You can straighten the arms this much, and then they bend this much. So it's around 90 degrees. We have a swivel in the wrists, and the wrists turn in any direction. There are two cuts in the torso. One is behind this plate, and the other one is here behind the diaper. So that is where you'll get your side-to-side swivel and a nice side-to-side tilt. 3PO crunches forward just slightly, and back is a bit better. We have drop-down hips here, a tie cut and a swivel. Legs go out this much, they kick forward, back. We have a single bend in the knees, a swivel in the ankles, feet move forward this much, back this much, and we have a good enough ankle pivot. This guy doesn't have toe joints. Let's now compare our S.H.F. 3PO to some other figures. We're gonna start with a comparison to the Bandai model kit version. I've had this kit for years and I've always been happy with it. I still am. When I look at the two of them side by side like this, in terms of aesthetics, I would say that the look is really similar. I mean, it should be. It's practically the same company that made both figures. But in terms of size, model kit is obviously shorter than the S.H.F. version. Model kit is around 14.4 centimeters tall, while Figuarts is around 14.9 centimeters. So it's half a centimeter difference. Both have that shiny reflective surface, but S.H.F. has a darker golden tone. Both figures look good though. Here is how they look from the back. Comparing the heads, the eye dots are better visible on S.H.F., and I prefer that since there is no light up feature on either of these guys. Model kit does have some wires here that are sculpted as separate pieces, while as mentioned before, S.H.F. doesn't. These pistons on the arms of the model kit do not have the same metallic finish like the rest of the body, and that's why they look plasticky and cheap. On the other hand, S.H.F. doesn't have that issue. Everything else, hands, chest, legs and feet, everything looks really similar. Here he is one more time with the Bandai model kit C-3PO and Bandai model kit R2. Here is how he scales with Hasbro's Black Series R2, and this is the one from The Mandalorian, and on the other hand the S.H.Figuarts R2, the re-released one. Here he is with the S.H.Figuarts Farm Boy Luke and Ben Kenobi. Here he is next to the S.H.Figuarts A New Hope Han Solo and the Black Series The Force Awakens Chewbacca. Here is how he scales with the original Black Series A New Hope Han Solo and the Black Series retro-carded A New Hope Princess Leia. Here is how he scales with the new Black Series A New Hope Leia and Rebel Trooper. Here he is next to the Bandai model kit BB-8 and the Black Series Tarkin. And finally, here is how he scales with the Black Series A New Hope Vader and the Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper. And that's it. That was my look at the S.H.Figuarts A New Hope C-3PO re-release. At the end of the day, I would say that I'm satisfied that I've decided to get this figure. I still like my Bandai model kit, but I think that I prefer this S.H.F. version. Sculpted details look better, eyes are more visible, and I prefer the darker tone of gold. It's an older figure, but a really good one. Possibly the best 3PO in 6-inch scale. It is heavier and more durable than the model kit, and even though you maybe won't pose him that much, he has a nice articulation range for such a limited character. In terms of accessories, you don't get much, but then again, there's not much that you really need with 3PO. Anything more would turn this into a much more expensive release, so I'm good with this. But these were all just my thoughts, and now I would love to hear you guys. What do you think about this figure? Do you have it or not? Which one do you prefer? Model kit, Black Series, or this one? Let me know all of it down in the comments. A huge shout out goes to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep making these videos. If anyone else can join and help, please do so, because everything earned over there goes into the channel's content. Patreon link is in the description. I have also opened a super thanks option, and I do plan on activating channel membership as well, so there will be a few different options for those who want to support the channel in that way. A lot of you guys want me to review all kinds of figures, so these are some of the ways you can help me to make that happen. If not, that's also okay. You are still helping simply by watching and sharing my videos, so thank you all for watching, thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.